Good morning, everybody. It is a wonderful Saturday morning here on the Sunshine Coast. And if you managed to see my very quick go live last night, I just wanted to share everything that I've done with Bear since he got a little bit of a sting from a bee. So it happened late last night. He went out for his little nightly wee and then stood on a bee that was obviously, in the middle of the grass, and he was unable to see it, and then he had this little sting that was in his paw. So I took it out, and the very first thing I did was, I know that lavender is an incredibly soothing oil for the skin and any irritation, so that's what I did. I went to my rollerball of lavender, which is already pre-diluted with fractionated coconut oil, and I rubbed it onto his little paw area. So that was step number one. Then he came and cuddled up into me, and what I did next was I went on to Dr. Janet Rourke, who's the essential oil vet on Facebook. You can follow her. And I belong to a group where she gives out protocols. And one of the things she also said for a bee sting is to use basil. So I didn't understand why, but I thought, okay, well, I'm going to do it anyway. So when I looked up basil, it's a very good oil to do the same thing with any sort of bites or repellent and stuff like that. So great. And as soon as I put those two on his paw, he was quite okay. He was licking it a little bit because obviously it was hurting him. I then applied lavender again down the back of his spine, so just giving him a little bit of relief that way. So when you have a bee sting, as with humans, sometimes an anaphylactic shock can occur. So people are allergic to bee stings. Now, when Bear was a puppy and we'd had him only for a few weeks, he actually got a bee sting on his nose. And being brand new fur parents, we didn't know what to do. So, of course, we put him into the car, rushed him off to the vet. And he didn't have an allergic reaction, but the vet was able to just check him out and everything was fine. But he did vomit because of pain. So dogs can't tell you always how they're feeling with their pain levels. So it's important that you understand when they do get a bite or a sting, that pain is definitely going to be part of that equation. So for me, what I choose to use for pain is copaiba. So when we went to bed, we put copaiba and lavender again, just in my hands, and I stroked it down the back of his spine, and he had an incredible night's sleep. He's woken up. In fact, even before he went to bed, he was back to his normal self again, running around, chewing his ball like he always does. Yes, thank you, Sarah. We were all so happy that he's fine. But I just wanted to say how blessed I feel to have these incredible oils in our lives to be able to treat our family naturally. I do want to make sure, I think everybody knows that we use the doTERRA brand, and I would use no other brand because of the purity of these oils being 100% pure. Now, you may have experienced other oils before and not get the same results and fast results that we seem to have with these oils, and that's probably due to things like synthetic fillers that are added into it and adulteration. So if you're going to be using these on your animals or even in your own body or on your children, make sure that they're 100% pure, and we would support the brand of doTERRA. Also remember that you've got to dilute. So fractionated coconut oil is always going to be your friend whenever applying to animals, because their systems don't take or they take a little bit longer than ours, and they're a little bit more sensitive sometimes to the oils than ours. Now, all of these oils that I used are also perfectly fine for humans. So the other tool and advice that I usually go to is the Essential Life book, but I actually have the app now, so that's amazing. Just quickly on hand, look up bee sting or whatever it is that your ailment is, and you can get solutions straight away. I think that's all I have to say really about it. He is a bouncy boy. He's very strong. Oh, that's what I wanted to say is I'm not silly. I made sure that I watched my dog very carefully to see any signs of diarrhea or vomiting. And if either of those had occurred, believe me, I have the emergency vet number on call, on dial, and I would have taken him straight away. So I just wanted to put that in as well to say I use natural solutions as my very first aid protocol, but if I see that that hasn't helped, of course, I'm going to take him to a vet, just like anyone who has a child would take them off to an emergency or a doctor. anyway, that's all I have to say. I'm happy my baby's fine. He's now having a little sleep in the sun. And, you know, if there's anything you want to know, if you want me to write down those resources that I have, I'll probably put them in the comments anyway. Thanks for watching, and let us know if you've done anything with your animals, how to calm them after an irritation. Bye.